Hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. So this time, what I'd like to talk about is, are you a psychopathic investor? I will tell you again. So, are you a psychopathic investor? So, why I said psychopath is because, how should I say? So, some great investors have some kind of psychopathic traits or some kind of psychopathic features, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So, how should I say? So, at first, maybe some of you or most of you know that how stock prices change or how stock prices move, which means stock prices change like a wave. Sometimes stock prices go down and sometimes stock prices go up. Stock prices repeat such drops and rises. And of course, there are many companies which are not listed, which means there are some companies which are listed, and those listed companies have their own stocks or shares sold in stock markets or stock trading markets or the markets for stock tradings. And and other companies do not have stocks or shares sold in the markets for stock tradings. And those companies which do not have their own stocks or shares sold in the market for stock trading are not listed. So list have such a meaning. And anyway, so going back to the original topic. So maybe this is what I said months before or episodes before, that in some the chance to buy stocks is when the stock prices of a company have dropped. So I will tell you again. I couldn't tell you well. So please imagine a listed company whose stocks or shares are sold in the market of stock tradings. So if the stock price of the company drops, so that is a kind of chance, or that is a chance or good opportunity to buy the stock of the company, because after such a drop, the stock price of the company may go up or may rise again, which is why so this is what I do. But if the stock prices of companies go down, or if the stock prices of companies decrease or lower or drop, that is I buy the stocks of some good companies or huge companies, and this is what I do. But please be careful if you do that, because sometimes you may get losses caused by the for example the bankruptcies of some companies. So please buy and sell stocks or shares of companies on the basis of your responsibilities. Please make sure this point. So all the losses and benefits caused by your actions after listening to this episode, those benefits and losses and outcomes and results are your responsibilities. Please make sure this point, which is what I'd like you to be sure. Anyway, so from now on, so I'm going to tell you a case which was good for earning money. So there was maybe some of you know that there was a huge earthquake maybe 10 some years ago. So in 2011, and on March 11th in 2011, there was a huge earthquake in the eastern part of my country, and the stock stock price of a company significantly went down, and by which some, and not only the stock price of a company, but the other stock prices of other companies went down at just after the earthquake of just after that huge earthquake, and some people could earn a lot of money by that chance, because that was a chance for earning money, or that was a chance to buy the stocks of Japanese companies, because at that time Japanese at that time the stock prices or the share prices of Japanese companies significantly went down, and the stock prices and share prices of Japanese companies had been really low, which is why some people found that stock price chances to, or opportunities to buy stocks, which is how some people could get a lot of wealth, or a lot of assets by purchasing or buying the stocks of huge Japanese companies, because after the not after the recovery, on the process of recovery, the stock prices or the share prices of those Japanese companies rose again, which is why in such a case, or in the case of, for example, in the case of a disaster, for example, in the case of a disaster, that is a kind of a chance, or that is a kind of an opportunity to purchase the stocks or shares of huge companies, for example. That is just an instance, and so another opportunity, or another chance is an incoming event in this present time. So what I'd like you to know this time is that there might be a war, or some kind of warring situation between Ukraine and Russia, which is a kind of a chance, because maybe just after Russian soldiers, or Russian troopers, or Russian military services are sent to the vicinity of the border between Ukraine and Russia, the stock prices of some Russian companies went down. So, which means there might be some investors thought there might be a wars between Russia and Ukraine, because the government of Russia may order the Russian soldiers or Russian troopers to invade or attack Ukraine, which there is such a possibility, or such a fear actually, which by being scared of such an incoming horrible or terrible event, maybe some investors avoided their losses, which is why some investors decided to sell the stocks of Russian companies. So which means what I'd like you to know is that if a war or wars happen between Russia and Ukraine, that might be a chance to buy the stocks or shares of Russian companies. So, and please make sure that if you lost a lot of money, or if you lose any amount of money, that is your responsibility, which means you are responsible. Please make sure that you are responsible for the losses or benefits caused by what you did, or your actions. After listening to this episode, please be sure about this point. So, like the examples I introduced in this episode, and there are two examples I introduced in this episode, and one of which is disasters. So maybe there have been many disasters, and there have some disasters happened which happened recently. So I'm recording this episode in the beginning of February in 2022, and So there have been many disasters, and there are small scales of earthquakes in around my country and in my country, and there are some volcanic explosions. There have been volcanic explosions recently, and another example, or the other example in this episode is, for example, warring situation. So there might be a war or wars between Russia and Ukraine. So like which, there are many opportunities, or it's possible to say that this world is filled with such good opportunities or chances. And so so another example, or another chance is, for example, another pandemic might be a chance. So what I'm talking about is not this pandemic, which has been caused by the proliferation of coronavirus. So this pandemic has been almost over, which means, maybe people began to get used to this situation of pandemic, and people began to, so even in the case of some countries, or even in the cases of some Western European countries, Western developed European countries, people began to take off their own face masks, and maybe normal or standard lives which have been natural, or which have been taken granted by almost all of us before this pandemic of coronavirus. And so, what I want to say in this time is that this pandemic has been almost over. So just after the beginning of this pandemic, the stock prices of huge companies all over the world had dropped. So what I'm saying is that just after the beginning of this coronavirus, which just after the beginning happened in the beginning of 2020. So just after the beginning of this pandemic, the stock prices of huge companies and stock prices of not so huge companies dropped, which had been a chance to buy or purchase the stocks of those huge companies, having lower the stock prices. So this pandemic, or the chance of this the chance or the opportunity given by this pandemic have been over. So what I'm talking about is if there's an incoming, or if there's another chance given by pandemic of another virus, which might be different from coronavirus, or in the case of pandemic, so some virus clearly different from coronavirus might be better for getting chance, or getting opportunity to buy stocks or shares of huge companies, because if there happen to be any pandemic, or if you get another chance of pandemic, for example, caused by another type of coronavirus or another strain of coronavirus, people have been used to coronavirus, which is why I don't think such a significant drops. I don't think such significant drops caused by this pandemic. It's not going to happen. Such a significant drops of stock prices caused by this pandemic are not going to happen, which is my expectation. So such a significant or severe drops caused by this pandemic are not going to happen, which is my speculation, or which is what I think. So I'm sorry for my complicated explanation. And so anyway, so you can get you can get many chances caused by many bad events, for example. So and anyway, so going back to the original topic, coming back to the original topic of this episode. So I'm sorry for it's really busy. So coming back to the original topic. So there are some great investors who have such psychopathic traits or psychopathic features capture. So and those great investors try to capture such bad events which lead some people or many people sometimes to die. There are such bad events which are and there may be some bad events, and some great investors have sinister minds to make the most of those bad events in favor of themselves, which is what I'd like you to know. So this pandemic was a chance, but this chance has been over. So there may be next chances, and there may be next chances. So in talking about future events, one of the such events which may give you chances or opportunities is a war or a series of wars between Russia and Ukraine in this present time, or talking about this present time, and so which is what I'd like you to know. So such bad events might be a chance for buying or purchasing stocks or shares of huge companies, and at last, so it's up to you, or it depends on your decisions whether you find me a psychopathic investor, or whether you think I have psychopathic traits or psychopathic features or not, which is whether I'm a psychopath or whether I have some psychopathic traits or not. It's up to your decision or up to your thoughts, which is also what I'd like you to know this time. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. See you